Nigel,
Yes.
great, we can hear you. Fantastic.
Hooray.
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 It's all
Technology.
worked so far. I just want to
Fantastic.
I just want to say, Nigel, it's just such a great pleasure to have you on the show. You were such a fantastic support for our first Wednesday Club project. Um,
It's very kind of you.
Not just playing, but you and Maddy had the idea of the visual art jam, if you remember, and we had a lot of fun with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was some great stuff produced. Yeah, yeah.
So it's over to you, Nigel, and yep, we look forward to hearing your 20-minute set. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Cliff. Yeah, first of all, thanks to Cliff and Fran for inviting me to play this auspicious occasion, first birthday party. And I mean, it's been fantastic. It's an odd time for musicians, of course, like it is for everybody, not being able to play to live audiences. But the internet broadcast is something that's it's a very interesting phenomenon. I find it incredibly optimistic that we can reach out to audience members, home and abroad, and potentially into the darkest corners of the world. And that's incredibly optimistic. I don't know how many of you are familiar with a website called Radio Garden. Radio Garden's a fantastic thing. It's an interactive map of the world, and you can zoom in and out and spin the globe around. And it's seeded with thousands of little green dots, and each of those little dots are a radio station that is broadcasting digitally, and you can select any of them and listen live to whatever's going on. And I find it incredibly optimistic to find a chat show or a phone in from the north of Finland or in Senegal or the middle of India, where I couldn't even name the language, never mind the conversation. But to hear people arguing and laughing and chatting is just incredibly optimistic. So I'm going to start with an optimistic song. This one's called Nickel on the Ground. Listen up and listen good. Tell me that you've understood. Think before you say another word. Step lightly on the ground. Keep your family around. Never greet the morning unprepared. Keep more than you care to show. Talk about the things you know. Never bet your money on a game. Keep your finger on the pulse. Keep your opinions to yourself. Never bring discredit to your name. Keep your eyes on the prize. Set your sights on the horizon. Keep your hand on the tiller. Keep your shoulder to the wheel. If you find your fortune, be sure to spread it around. Never pass a nickel on the ground. Let everybody be allowed. Speak the truth and tell it loud. Wind of change is blowing through our land. We'll take away the rule of the crooked and the cruel. Never build an empire on the sand. Keep your eyes on the prize. Set your sights on the horizon. Keep your hand on the tiller. Keep your shoulder to the wheel. If you find your fortune, be sure to spread it around. Never pass a nickel on the ground. Keep your face in the sun when it shines. That way a shadow always falls behind. Take your pen and take your time. Conjure up another rhyme. Think about the things you want to say. Stick it in your heart, then pick up your guitar and summon Saint Cecilia as you play. Keep your eyes on the prize. Set your sights on the horizon. Keep your hand on the tiller. keep your shoulder to the wheel. And if you find fortune, well, be sure to spread it around. Never pass a nickel on the ground. Keep your eyes on the prize, set your sights on the horizon. Keep your hand on the tiller, keep your shoulder to the wheel. And if you find fortune, well, be sure to spread it around. Never pass a nickel on the ground. I normally play my music with an English Americana trio called the Tin Heart Troubadours. The great dobro player called Steve Clark, and an equally great cello player called Claire Pastorius. And one of the frustrating things is that we've not been able to play ensemble together for a year now. We had a few distanced rehearsals in the garden when it was warm enough last summer, but since then we've not been able to get together. And one of the frustrating things about that is that I've been writing some new songs and we've not been able to actually embrace those as a band. So I thought tonight is an opportunity to try a couple of those new songs out, and you'll hear them sort of in the raw. If you know any of our material, you won't know these songs yet, but hopefully by the time we get back into harness, we'll be performing them live. The first one is a name stolen from a headstone in a churchyard on the island of Lindisfarne off the Northumberland coast. And I wrote a song about a woman called Isabella Douglas, was her name. I know nothing about her, but I conjured up a backstory of her being born into the wrong time in the wrong class and paying the terrible price for making her life choices. I hope you like this. This is called Isabella Douglas. It's a waltz as well, by the way. So if you happen to be bubbled up with your dance partner, roll back the carpet, have a little go around the room with this. Isabella Douglas fell down to her knees, pulled by the sin in her body down. Everyone shuffled uneasily round, everyone stared at the ground. Isabella Douglas had dreamt as a child of a fairy tale prince and his kiss, conjured a picture of sweet domesticity. Nothing prepared her for this. All the right people in all the right circles go round and around and around and around, and anyone not holding on for dear life will be thrown in the merry-go-round. When he appeared to her, Isabel knew she was the one he'd been waiting for. Danced to the only tune both of them knew, each of them hoping for more. Isabella Douglas woke up in the morning, a cold silhouette by her side. Pictured him back in the arms of his wife, as she felt something flutter inside. All the right people in all the right circles go round and around and around and around. Anyone not holding on for dear life will be thrown from the merry-go-round. Isabella Douglas climbed up on the parapet, stared at the water below, whispered goodbye to the one that she loved, quietly let herself go. Another new one, this time inspired by a visit to a cathedral in Spain. And I was knocked out by all of the statues of saints everywhere. And there were lots of people, lots of pious people in there. And it made me wonder, not being a praying type, it made me wonder if one had to aim one's prayers at some specific saint, some relevant saint. So saints have they are the patron saint of something usually. And it made me wonder whether you could offer a prayer to any saint, or whether it had to be a kind of relevant saint. The saint I was particularly drawn to was Saint Jerome. And now it turns out that Saint Jerome is the patron saint of librarians. And it's a bit hard to imagine, maybe late returns or something. It's a bit hard to imagine why you would want to channel your prayers to the patron saint of librarians. However, it then made me think that what if you didn't have access to all of those fantastic statues and all those saints? What if you only had access to one saint, one statue, and you could only just see that through the little window in your cell door? And that was the only statue in that prison. Well, that's quite a lot of heavy lifting, I think, for one saint. But I guess I wouldn't have any choice. This is called Saint Jerome. Father, hear me with this lament. I repent. Here's my final will and testament. Take my pocket watch, it's nothing fine. Won't tell the time, it's not worth a lousy dime, but it's mine. All I have to show, 30 years unwound. Now I live forever on the ground. Oh, Saint Jerome, I have strayed. I have prayed that the heavens hear a sinner calling. Oh, Saint Jerome, I've been lost, I've been crossed, and I hear my guardian angel Truth be told, that since my sorry birth, I've crawled the earth. Nothing worth the damn has come from me. Now I'll wait for one last break. I need to pray and hope it takes away the pain. I can hear the willows weeping, and the crows are wearing black. Knows I'm never coming back. Oh, Saint Jerome, I have strayed. I have prayed. The heavens hear a sinner calling. Oh, Saint Jerome, but I've been lost, crossed, and I hear that guardian angel calling. Rush of jealousy that led me here. Sudden fear that we were disappearing through led, and now the bell's already ringing. I hear footsteps in the hall, and they've measured out the distance for the fall. Oh, Saint Jerome, I have strayed, and I have prayed that the heavens hear a sinner calling. Oh, Saint Jerome, but I've been lost, double crossed, and I hear my guardian angel calling. Oh, Saint Jerome, I have strayed, but I have prayed that the heavens hear a sinner calling. Oh, Saint Jerome, but I've been lost, double crossed, and I hear my guardian angel falling down. Okay, I've got one more song left. Again, another big shout out to Fran and Cliff for making all this possible. Thank you for the invite. It's been a great pleasure. Even if I can't actually see you audience out there, I know you're there. And I hope it won't be too long before we can all be in a room together. Don't forget to check out the Tin Heart Troubadours if you've liked what I've done. You can hear lots more on Facebook and on YouTube. See some videos that we've made on YouTube as well. And I'm going to finish with a song appropriately called Good Night. Good night. It's time to say good night. And as the sun is just in the sky, and all the words I had to say to you have fallen through the evening dew and faded with the light. Good night. We have to say good night. Our time has drifted away, and maybe someday when I'm sitting here and think of you in symmetry, you'll think of me, and it'll seem alright. Think of me when you're lying in your bed, the kaleidoscope of stars revolving overhead. The universe will turn another page, and I'll be just the memory of a different age. Good night. Moon is rising in the sky. The clock's unwinding as the nightjar sings a lullaby, and overhead the comets fly, and you and I must say goodbye, divided by the night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Hey. Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.